Hey everyone, it's Aidan. Welcome back to Push Square. So Sony has just announced a state of play and this is looking like it's going to be a big one. So today I want to break down my predictions for this thing. This is going to be off the cuff, pretty easy going, so let's just dig into it. Yeah, Sony announced on the PlayStation blog that this thing's going to run on Thursday the 12th of February. It's going to be on at 10 PM here in the UK. I'll put up the little thing so you can see the times in wherever you are. Yeah, and in it they announced tune in live this Thursday for 60 plus minutes of news, gameplay updates and announcements from game studios across the globe. February's state of play will spotlight eye-catching third-party and indie games headed to PS5, along with the latest from teams at PlayStation Studios. Obviously that last little bit there is the exciting little nugget. Let's start off with some of the more boring stuff. Not that the game itself is boring, it's my most anticipated of the year. I think Resident Evil Requiem will show up here, maybe the final trailer, since we're just a couple of weeks away from its release on February 27th. Obviously we've seen quite a bit of this at this point. We've even got our own preview gameplay you can check out on the channel, but yeah, this I'm not too surprised if this shows up here. In addition, I think PS Plus announcements, they usually like to stuff these in here, so we'll get our announcements for the Extra and Premium catalogue, which is supposed to drop on Tuesday the 17th anyway. And maybe we'll get the Essential announcement as well, maybe, for the beginning of March. So that's like kind of the more boring stuff that I reckon will turn up. Let's talk about that PlayStation Studios thing. Now that, obviously, we like to get excited, and sometimes it's best to temper expectations a little bit. So I think from like a standpoint of what we know from PlayStation Studios that exists and will likely be there, I think Saros, April 30th for its release date. It would probably be nice to see a little bit more gameplay, maybe some story stuff. I need to see a bit more of how it differentiates from Returnal, so I think that will probably show up. Weird that it was announced last week and not included in this, but we'll probably see a little bit more of Horizon Hunters Gathering, which is just a daft sounding name, but I think maybe that will show up. I wonder if they were just worried about announcing some kind of live service co-op game in a state of play again, so they've done it separately, but I think it will maybe show up in some form, even if it's just another gameplay trailer. I think, to speak of a PlayStation acquired company that's not really releasing first party exclusive necessarily, I think we'll probably get the announcement of the Marathon beta. This is obviously due to drop on March 5th, so we're not that far away, and there was supposed to be a beta. I wouldn't be surprised if this is on Thursday night, bang, it's on tomorrow, Friday, and you can play the beta on PlayStation 5 for free. I think that's probably a lock-in, to be honest. Getting to some slightly more exciting stuff, Rob at Push Square, he thinks that Onimusha is going to get its release date. Probably seems right about now. We've had a preview, we've had gameplay stuff out there, so that would be nice to see a little bit of that. Sammy reckons we're going to see a little bit more of Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. That of course is just scheduled for 2026. Maybe it'll be beta talks, maybe just a little bit more look at some gameplay or the announcement of some new superheroes or something like that. Obviously one of the big ones that's like been rumored for ages is this God of War 2D game. I don't know, like, feel like there has to be something at the tail end of this for it to be like a 60-minute thing. Sony knows by this point, like, you kind of need to come swinging, or maybe they don't care at this point that, you know, people are gonna complain about these anyway. Regardless of how good they are or how bad they are, people will complain. So God of War 2D could show up. I think something that's a lot more likely from a PlayStation Studios perspective though is actually the Ghost of Yotei multiplayer Legends mode. That was announced, I think it was just 2026, but that was announced to be coming out at some point this year, so I think it would be cool to see a little bit of that. And I actually missed it with Tsushima. I never played the Tsushima version of Legends, so I'm keen to check this one out. Something that I'm just kind of expecting to be there, well, something I'm really hoping is there, is actually Judas. It's been a very PlayStation aligned. I think it was maybe announced at a state of play, but we've had a lot of PlayStation blog stuff talking about gameplay mechanics and the world and the story and all this from Ken Levine himself. This is obviously kind of the spiritual successor to BioShock, and there was a lot of rumours last year that it was going to release round about this time, actually last year in 2025, so I really hope that something comes out about this soon, like maybe an extended gameplay, even better, like a release date. I think that could show up here. That's probably my like big prediction here. So yeah, those have been 10 rather kind of middle of the line predictions. I don't want to come in here and be like, oh man, like The Last of Us 3. No, I'm not really expecting anything like that, but I think most of these are there's a pretty good chance that these are going to show up here. But let me know your own predictions. Go for a wild one and a realistic one down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. That does help me out. And even better, if you want to stay up to date with things like this in the world of PlayStation, then subscribe to the channel. Anyway, that's it from me today. Thanks for stopping by. So until next time, I've been Aaron, and this has been Push Square.